Hello, Internet neighbor. It's the Prospiracy Theorist here, aka Iggy Wadadwa or Michael Harvey, and I'm here to talk to you about the timeline for the Bloodless Rebellion that I'd like to lead. And that Bloodless Rebellion is against capitalism, and I want to build a new system in its place and hopefully save the world while I'm at it. And in the hope of all that, I'd like to start with a prayer. Good will conquer evil, love will conquer hate. Manaz in Lakesh, Namaste, Ubuntu, love. Little love goes a really, really, really long way. Okay, so the Ohio State spring game is April 15th, 2023. And that's when I'm going to go and start talking to people and telling them about my new YouTube channel, The Prospiracy Theorist. And hopefully, um, over the course of these videos, I inspire a bunch of people to run as independents because the Democrats and Republicans serve the same Federal Reserve and the same corporations that the Federal Reserve has helped build, because the system is rigged through economic means, um, and racism. It's all tied together, um, and I really want to build a new world, but I don't want fire and brimstone to destroy the world that we're in, which is what I think the powers that be are trying to lead us down that path. And so I've come up with this timeline to go down a different path. So it would start April 15th at the Ohio State um, spring game. And hopefully, I inspire those people to run as independents and then drop out, like Biden, like how Biden got the nomination from Bernie Sanders when all the other people dropped out and endorsed him. I figure if a bunch of independents, like a huge number, maybe even 1,000, signed up to run and then all dropped out and endorsed me, it'd be really hard for the Democrats and Republicans to like say that they won the election. But anyhow, even if that weren't to work, hopefully I still build um, a tribe that can survive whatever the Democrats and Republicans have planned. Um, but I would run for the 3rd District Representative in 2024 with a platform of legalizing weed and hemp, like constitutional amendment wise. And also an amendment to have police carry malpractice insurance nationally, and then have it be sold by an insurance company that's owned by a minority group so that they can have some bootstraps that we're always talking about. So, and then the next step would be running for governor in 2026, because I don't know how much traction I'd actually get with those amendments. Um, but if I were able to win the governorship, I could actually legalize hemp and weed in Ohio, by like with executive order, like decriminalizing it. Um, and then I could do something about the police, and I can start building nonprofit integrated renewable energy solutions. That's what Empire stands for. And that is essentially just taking bridges and turning them into renewable energy power plants that also generate electricity and farm natural gas, by basically turning them into hills. And so, like the empty space underneath the bridge would no longer be empty. It would be filled in with anaerobic digesters and um, turbines that use the electricity generated by solar panels and wind turbines to spin steam turbines. So most bridges go over bodies of water, and so if you took the polluted water that bridge goes over and boil some of it, you could spin a turbine that would generate electricity, and the byproduct would be steam, and steam is purified water. So you could mix the purified water back with some of the polluted water and slowly re-purify the water without killing the fish and messing up the pH balance. Um, I'm more of a banker than a scientist, but I'm a nerd and I've researched this stuff, but I'm not an expert in it. But I know we could do that. And so I actually had a dream about it. And I'll have a whole another presentation regarding empires in the future, but just wanted to talk about them here because they're so integral to the plan. And so once we start building those in Ohio, um, hopefully the rest of the country sees their merit, and I am able to run for president or vice president in 2028, probably vice president, uh, but whatever. Um, I need 16 years to replace the entire Federal Reserve Board of Governors because they serve 14-year terms, and you only get a 4-year term as a president or vice president. So I need 16 years running as president or vice president in order to do this. Because essentially what I want to do is change the entire monetary policy. So right now we have a currency that is printed on cotton. So yes, we all pick cotton. And that's when I found that out. That's when I started really calling myself the white devil against devilry white, and which is what WADAD stands for. And I want to print the dollar on hemp. So hemp grows a lot faster. And if we encouraged everybody to print or to grow hemp, we could print more money and do other things with it. Like because you can make plastic out of hemp. I'd like to switch all of our plastics over to that. And if we grew enough, I'd like to make giant rolls of it, like the plastic that you put in your car to keep the sun from heating up your vehicle. Why don't we just make giant rolls of hemp and roll it out on like Greenland and the North Pole so that it reflects the sun's energy and they can start refreezing. If we did something like that and then used empires to reflood lakes that have dried up, we could lower sea levels and have more land to provide for people as well. So that would be like a huge thing. And that's where I'd like to take us. And so, and I'd like to do it in steps. So like we start out with building the empires that would be purifying the water, so that 20 years down the line, when we switched over, we had reserves of clean water or to back the currency. Because right now, only 1% of the planet's water on the whole planet is not salt water. And even that 1% that's able to be used, most of that's polluted and has to be cleaned before it can be drank. So like I want to just change our whole society from exploiting people to exalting them as being part of a vital part of the system that saves us. And I want to grow a hemp rope. Like I want to grow enough hemp to make a rope that we can like lasso the moon. And some scientists have called it a space elevator. Well, I think we could build that out of hemp. And I think we could have a whole hemp-based society that could save humanity and save the planet, stop climate change, and do all of that. And like this is the plan. So going back to you run for president 2028, redo the tax structure first, switch over to universal health care. Those things can happen immediately to stop the genocide, start building more empires. And then after that, the next 4 years, start redoing the states to make every state 1 million people. And then have that state be designed to take care of every person in that state, find them work like that they can do. Because, I mean, and if we change the budget, like one of the other things I'd like to do is create, like take $100 billion from the defense budget and create a renewable energy bank, and also $100 billion to create a affordable housing bank. And with the money multiplier effect, where you only have to keep 10% of your deposits, and you can loan the other 90% out. So if we took $100 billion from the defense funds and used that to fund a bank, in theory, that should create $1 trillion worth of new money because of the money multiplier effect. So that would be $2 trillion, $1 trillion into renewable energy, and $1 trillion into getting people housing. We could really use that as a country, and it's available to us. We just have to change our priorities. So making every state 1 million people or less, and then basically when you get to 1 million people, you divide like a cell and you go down to like 500,000, like mitosis, and then like you can build back up again. And when you get to 1 million people, you have to split up into a new state, and every state will be designed to like take care of all of its inhabitants. And every watershed would be a Federal Reserve Bank. And I would break up large companies. So with our tax structure, and this will be more in the money slide or money presentation later, but essentially taxes are paid differently by people versus corporations. Like people pay their taxes before they pay their bills, and corporations pay their bills before they pay their taxes. So higher wages lower a corporation's tax rate, which is why trickle-down economics don't work. And so, like, if we change the tax structure, corporations would have an incentive to break up into smaller corporations, essentially. And then the ones that didn't do it on themselves, we could start breaking them up during the second presidency. But essentially, after 16 years, we would be switched over to a hemp dollar that was backed by water. And I'd like to become the chairman of the Federal Reserve Board of Governors by 2044, and hopefully die at work at 2079, hopefully living long enough to see the first strand of the space elevator made of hemp launched. Oh, and I'd also like to build the international rail that some of you might have heard about, using empires for the bridges and to cross the oceans, and build a water pipeline underneath that international train so that we could transport water all around the world. And then we also build a space elevator because the Earth spins faster than the moon goes around. You wouldn't be able to secure the end of the rope on the Earth like firmly on the ground. But if we built the international rail, we could put a magnet on the bottom of it and have the rope track the international rail. So I look forward to making more videos and sharing more ideas with you. Iggy stands for the idea guy got ideas, and I've got a ton of them. Hopefully enough to make a brighter future for everyone. That's what I'm looking to do, and just keep trying my best, and hopefully some of my ideas can get some traction. Have a great day.